All right. Well, I believe we're live right now, guys. We want to welcome you to our new little setup that we have here with the Rising Texan podcast. Let us know in the comments. We got Billy monitoring them. Let us know. Make sure that you guys can hear us. Thumbs up or, say something. That way we know you guys are able to listen to us, know what's going on. We're about to discuss a few things that is going on. How's the live going over there, Billy?
It's looking good. We got 7 viewers, so let's give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, we're just waiting a little bit, guys, so we can get more viewers in. We are got a new little setup here. We also got some new software that we're learning as we go. So appreciate y'all being patient with us.
Also, guys, if you have a chance, can go ahead and share the podcast so we can get some more viewers. We're looking pretty good right now. So for being 30 seconds on.
Yes, we're running to see, guys. We appreciate y'all joining in. We're trying to get a little more people on here before we start our show, the Rising Texan podcast, with your host, Isaak Ruiz, and our special guest today, Billy Perez.
Shout out to Banda. How you doing, Banda? Hope you're doing good. Kati, Yadira, Joe Hernandez, what's up, my homeboy? Juan Luna, what's gonna be the topic? Well, Mr. Luna, what the topic is, we're gonna cover situations that are going on locally, state, and well, I don't want to talk about federal because right now what's going on is here is in Texas. So, but we're gonna be covering a lot of issues.
Awesome. All right.
Just trying to get everything together.
Here? How's the sound, guys? You guys already tested our sound. Let us know that you guys are able to hear us well. Right before we get on here and start doing our thing, right? We want to make sure everybody's able to hear.
Juan Luna is saying that the sound's perfect, so.
Perfect. All right. Let's see, I'm trying to see if we can get some comments on here. Oh, wow. Well, we want to say thank you for joining us, guys, on this live. We really appreciate it. Again, as always, we try to bring you news, what's coming on, discussion, so you guys know what is happening out there in your community, surrounding communities. It's important to know and follow what goes on, not just in our page, but the news in general, so you guys know and are knowledgeable about the things that are going on in our communities. We'll go ahead and start. Appreciate you guys joining in. The first thing, of course, many of you know the situation that has happened. We want to go ahead and start off our show by having a quick moment of silence for those parents, for those students, for many of the people, families that were tragically, they were just, their whole world's been rocked. We have some local as well, or local ties here with people that attended the school, and it's it's a terrible thing that happened. So we want to take just a quick moment of silence in their honor. All right, guys. Thank you for bearing with us. Now, okay. So let's get right to it, guys. This is Esther, Billy. How do you take this, Billy? I mean, this was a crazy situation. Let's go ahead and start with what's going on. The Uvalde shooting that occurred, a couple of days ago. Man, it's tough. It's tough. It's an 18-year-old. The facts we know, 18-year-old from Uvalde,
Local guy.
local guy. How we were able to piece together this timeline was he had an altercation or something happened with his grandma. We know that. From there, we know his grandma is hospitalized because she did get shot
in the face.
In the face, guys. I mean, it's just, I don't mean to laugh. It's just ridiculous what happened. And later on after that, we see him crashing his vehicle into a ditch that was nearby the elementary school, Robb Elementary. And from there, you know, he entered the school, was able to get in. And, you know, this tragedy happened, guys. It's really sad. Billy, can you let us know what you've heard as far as, you know, law enforcement, any sources that you may have that could give us any kind of insight into what, you know, what this guy was thinking, anything like that?
Well,
we do have a lot of things that we posted, right? But
yes, first and foremost, God bless all the families in Uvalde, Isaac. I think right now it's not going to be a time to, you know, divide people and stuff like that. Right now, we all know that incident that happened with the governor and Abbott, and you know what? At this point, we're not here to be about Democrat or Republic. You know, there's going to be a time for that. But putting that aside, it's very unfortunate right now going on situations like this. I mean, it touches. This happens in our backyard, Isaac. When in the world do we ever think it's gonna happen in Uvalde, in our backyard? You know, our deepest condolences to the family of the teacher. She's a class of '96 from Eagle Pass High School.
yes.
So now it becomes personal to our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that's another thing that a lot of people have not, you know, understand that. How many people in Facebook, how many mothers last night were saying that they were gonna hug their children and stuff like that. You know, it's tough. I have 2 boys and they're adults, but I'm sure you got your daughters.
I mean, the thing where it hit close to my, you know, home, as so to speak, is that I have a son and a daughter, and they would be around the same age. You know, if they were in Uvalde, they would be attending a school around that same age. And I know we were even hesitant to send our kids to data school, and I think a lot of parents took it upon themselves and decided, hey, well, I'm not going to let my kids go to school, because there was a lot of rumors circulating, and we're trying to, you know, combat that, because there's a lot of information being out. Some of it's not true, some of it is. And as a you know, journalist, what we do is we're trying to sort through what is actually facts and what is a rumor.
Yes.
And you know, there was rumors as far as people saying that, oh, my daughter saw the list and this is not over, and I believe we posted that up there.
Then we got copycats that are trying. That's the first thing that in you know, shootings, people start copycatting that type of crime, and that's type.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, and I think you hit the nail right on the head, Billy, with the copycat thing, because a couple of I think years ago or a year ago, we had a shooting in New Zealand.
Yes.
And a lot of you know, we had the Buffalo shooting that was recent, and
New York, New Mexico, or somewhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an.
And one of the things that we were picking up, I know we're not talking exactly about the Uvalde one, but like in the Buffalo situation, there was a manifesto left behind, similar to the shooting in New Zealand, where they shot 51 Muslims. And Buffalo, of course, I believe it was, 10 that died.
Sandy Hook
as well.
24 children.
These things, guys, are going to happen. Now, the thing that we should be focusing on, in my opinion, is actually what can we do to stop them from happening.
Because we're sitting here blaming, and I'm telling you, we're going to be sitting here and we're going to be pointing fingers and blaming Republicans, blaming Democrats. And you know what, guys? At the end of the day, right now is not the time for that. Right now is the time to... I heard it, a wise man once said, either we heal as a community or we crumble as individuals, Isaac. And right now, again, It's gonna be our choice. I keep telling my kids every time I call them, hey, you know what? Every time you leave your apartment or your house, one of them is going to college in Houston, the other one lives in San Antonio. Be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. You know what? I see comments here, blaming the police department in Uvalde. Again, many things where we're not there. There's an investigation going on. There's many things. Again, it's going to take a lot of investigation and a lot of forensics to analyze the type of crime, why it was committed. There's going to be a lot of stuff that right now is too preliminary to start pointing fingers. I cannot understand why there's people here trying to blame the police department that they didn't do their job. It's easy for us, Isaac, to sit behind on Facebook or any type of social media and point fingers, Isaac. We don't know the true fact of what happened. I do know that there was the local, state, and federal response. There was a tactical
team that was activated,
board tech from the Border Patrol. And again, the reason I'm talking about them is because I have close friends that have called me and told me they responded to assist Uvalde PD, the school PD in Uvalde, and those guys are trained. They're equivalent to United States Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
So they're trained for situations like that, and they were able to go in there and assess the situation. There's been posts that have been saying that there was a Border Patrol agent that was a hero. Last night, a friend of mine called me that one of his board tech friends that is in Uvalde said that didn't happen. It was a team effort. The board tech team went in there. One of them got injured. And what they saw is it was very unfortunate. I mean, my buddy was literally almost sad. I could literally hear him on the phone, sad, and explaining when the board tech team went in there, the horrific scenes of the kids.
I mean, and just to update you guys, if you haven't already heard from the news, we know it's a little bit hard to not change the channel and not hear these things that are going on. But last update that we got was 19 killed, 19 students
19
killed.
students, two teachers.
Two teachers were killed. The gunman was killed. And we have about, I believe, last I checked, was 17 injured.
In the hospital.
In the hospital, injured, and
some of them are being released.
Yeah. I mean, some are in better condition than others. Like I said, we recently saw a Daily Mail. We were talking about it before we came on, where Daily Mail actually reached out to the mother of the shooter, the alleged shooter, Salvador Ramos, and she mentioned that he was a little bit of a loner, but she never saw him doing this type of thing. And she was a little surprised about the situation. Now, I believe that she was actually in the hospital with the grandmother that got shot. So that's something that, I mean, I chuckle a little bit, guys, but it's out of how ridiculous and senseless this kind of act is.
It's unbelievable.
Billy. And, you touched on a little bit before saying that this is close to home. This is right in our backyard. I mean, many of us...
One of ours.
Many of us know, I believe there's a gentleman out that lost his daughter from Auto World. And I saw a post coming out. And how close can we get to somebody that's working with us,
Yes.
And many of the families in Uvalde know many of the families here in Eagle Pass, and it's just a difficult situation having to deal with the fear that came out. And many parents, are suffering right now. Many families are suffering right now. No parent wants to, bury their child. And again, we go back to say that this act was senseless. This act was totally uncalled for. And now we're just kind of digging. They haven't found a direct motive just yet, right?
And again, people can blame the guns, Isaac. They can blame the governor. they can blame the NRA, they can point fingers, mental health, all this stuff. I mean, right now, is everybody in their right? Do they have a point? Maybe they do. Again, I'm not here or right now. It's a very difficult time, Isaac. That imagine us in community, which we're 50 miles away. Everywhere you can't even walk into a gas station, and people talk about it and stuff. Imagine the community of Eagle Pass. I got a good friend of mine, Bruce Ramos, K9 Division with Uvalde PD. That guy's been my friend forever. I called him up last night and I told him, look, brother, all I can tell you is that I pray for you. And he was telling me, you know what, bro, our department, some of our guys can't stop crying. Some of them are thinking, that they could have been there, but we can't predict stuff like that. No. Regardless, whoever we want to point the finger at, whoever, at this point, it's very, very hard. People are saying train teachers, put guns with teachers, civilians. We always, at this point, we're just talking about the problem, but what about the solution? I always say that. Why do we have to be at a point where we're always reacting to a situation? Why? Why can't we be proactive, Isaac? I was at a restaurant before I came to your podcast, and I talked to one of my cousins. He's a teacher at an elementary school. And the first thing I told him, let me ask you one thing. Do you have a buzzing system in your school? He goes, no, we don't. Anybody can just walk in.
And this is here locally, right? You're saying?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it's sad because I know that in some schools, some elementaries are enforcing it and some don't. And, it's the first line of defense. Do we have bulletproof doors, windows?
No.
We invest so much money everywhere else. Why don't we? The world is not the same 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. In the 70s, it's not, if you want to blame anybody, we should blame? We got 2 or 3 year old babies already on the cell phone and an iPad. Imagine how many kids. And again, when I used to be little, I used to go to the gold mine and play Ikari Warriors and a little tank shooting. Those were my games. Right now, we got all these Modern Warfare, MW 1, 2, and 3, yes. Whatever. Ghost Recon.
It has changed a little bit.
And you got kids, including my own, because he who has not seen cast the first stone.
Yeah.
That we're all hooked. I talked to some, I'm playing Modern Warfare with my, it's, you want to talk about, mental issues. Well, what do you think is going to happen when your son is stuck 12, 13, 14 hours playing Modern Warfare? What do you think that's being fed into their brains, to their state of mind? But then they go out there, and I'm not saying that's the only reason. I'm saying that's one of many. What do you think is going to happen when they go out into this world, turn 18?
And I think you're hitting a very good point, because now what is going on is that people are reverting into themselves, turning into kind of more introverted, right? Because they go everything and do everything with their computers, their cell phones. And that may be a reason why some of them aren't able to socialize with their peers, because they isolate themselves by living in some kind of fantasy that they may be, drafting themselves into. And that leaves them unable to, make friends, make connections with other people.
They close their brain to society.
Well, exactly, because, you tell me, is it a lot easier for you to hurt somebody or, do something to somebody that is not your friend, that you don't have a connection to? Of course, and you can see that with, let's say fights. Very rarely do you fight with your friends. Why? Because there's a connection that you have with them. There's something you share with them. Now, somebody that, may not be your friend, you can easily, you know, you don't know them, so you can harbor some kind of feelings. You can even act out. Now, a lot of the stuff that's coming out in the media now is there, now that the officials are looking through social medias of the killer, there's stuff coming out now.
Everything's written all over the wall. But as parents, as grandparents, que vivo con mi abuelito, que yo vivo con mi tía, guys, if my nephew's gonna come live with me, dressed in a black top coat every day, and going into my room and closing the door and be stuck there for 12 hours, buddy, there's something wrong. There's a mental problem there, and those have to be red flags, and people need to recognize it. We're blaming the police department, we're blaming the government, we're blaming the school district. What about the guardian? Who's pointing the finger at the guardian? Because that's the first line of defense, if anything, Isaac.
Yeah.
People, and again, well, I was living with my grandma because my mom didn't love me. Well, then it takes us back to, and make no mistake, I love my kids. And if I'm gonna have a baby with somebody, it's because I'm gonna love him, because I'm gonna be responsible, or I know that their mother's gonna be responsible. Shout out to the mother of my kids. They're great people. They're responsible, and I don't have nothing to say, because you cannot go randomly just meeting a girl or a guy, having a baby, and that's it. And again, that's another story, but
that's another podcast.
But that's another podcast. But it starts there, Isaac. It starts with principles inside our homes. It starts with God. How have we shied away from God so much? Evil. People say what? Like, people are confused, and people ask what happened. Evil. There's evil out there. There's evil. They can have 100 million freaking laws for everybody that's with a sign that this and that. Evil's not gonna say, oh, wait a minute, Governor Abbott, you have this law that says blah 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 blah. Okay, let me turn around, make a U-turn, and not commit a crime. Evil doesn't care, Isaac.
And I think that's what a lot of people aren't really capturing a bit, is that gun laws, they're in place. People don't follow gun laws. Criminals do not follow gun laws. Somebody that's going to shoot up a school is not worried about a gun law. So then that's where the argument comes in. And I'm going to say it because I'm real disappointed at how both sides of our party are handling this. And I posted something on my Facebook. Democrats are being Democrats, Republicans are being Republicans, but who are the people getting screwed here? Who are the people getting left behind? They're so worried about putting their political view
aside,
pushing their political view. Because we saw it demonstrated by Beto O'Rourke.
Very unfortunate for Beto. Right now, it's not time. It wasn't the time for that. There will come a time for that. That was not the time. And I'm not becoming a side for Governor Abbott or Beto. We're not taking sides here.
No.
It's just that we're saying,
I really don't
let's
like
clarify, it was not the time.
No.
Beto was wrong, and I will say it. And if he ever comes to Maverick County, I will say it in his face.
I think maybe if he ever comes to Maverick County, some of us should probably meet him the way he met, all those grieving families.
Exactly.
People are trying to grieve, and a politician gets in there.
The kids haven't even had a burial, and here he is committing this type of acts, or whatever you want to call them.
And that's what we're seeing, and that is what disappoints me about these politicians today. They're not for the people. There's very rare occurrence when one actually remembers who you are. Oh, hi, I just wanted to say hi to you. And it's funny because I just ran into one, and I don't consider her a politician. I'm not going to say her name. She is an elected official. But it was amazing how she took the time to say, oh, Isaac, to go say hi. Now, those are the little differences that, other politicians, they won't bother remembering who you are. They don't bother, remembering what you stand for or what it is you want
Exactly.
done as a person that's voting for them. No, they want to push their party narratives, both Republicans and Democrats. And I'll say this, I mean, I know people have criticized me that I'm a Democrat, people have criticized me I'm a Republican, and the first thing I'll say, and I think you know this better than anybody, is that I can give a crap about parties,
Either
because
party.
it's not, right now it's not, it's, the biggest thing is politicians against people. And
One of the reasons I like your podcast is because he got that flag. I'm a Texan. That's what I am, man. It's something that I am 100% is a Texan.
But
That's what I am.
did you catch the when we were out there for the Governor Abbott press conference in City Hall? We had two what I dubbed them the four locos. They were out there
yelling stuff?
No. Well, that was another guy. We'll get to him later. But there was actually, I mean, I have no idea where these guys sprung up from. We did hear, we haven't heard the video, but that they were disrespectful to another member of the media, colleague, Daniel Ramos and the Eagle Pass TX News. Apparently, they disrespected him in a certain way, something like that. We saw them whenever we were down there in the river carrying a box of Budweiser, an 18-pack, trying to offer the soldiers something there. Now, these guys were dressed in panchos and a sombrero.
Oh, I saw those.
Yeah, and another guy dressed as a coyote.
Yeah.
And, you know, the first thing I said, they said that they were from California. Go back. You know, this is Texas. We know a lot of people from California want to move in, but we don't want California values.
Don't California my Texas.
There you go. Don't California my Texas. And, you know.
And that's a fact.
And that's the thing that a lot of people are escaping or not knowing, is that these elections that are coming up throughout the state of Texas.
Yes.
I believe we had a tight race in District 28 Congressional with Henry Cuellar down there in Laredo. I don't remember. I don't want to call it either way, but he was being met, and this is a moderate Democrat. One of the most moderate Democrats you'll find. I think you want to say the moderate Democrat, right? And he was struggling, very close race, with a AOC-backed candidate, with a Bernie Sanders-backed candidate. So it was a close race, guys. Anybody in the comments that have seen the final numbers on that, please share that with us. But the point I'm getting at is that our community here, Eagle Pass, Maverick County, and the surrounding, which is Carrizo, Cristo, Del Rio, Uvalde, our surrounding towns around here, we're getting into things that we've never seen before. Now, what's most shocking is that we always thought mass shootings like these were designated for bigger cities.
New York, Chicago, LA.
Big cities.
And here we are in our own backyard. Situations like this happening.
And what does that do? It opens Pandora's box, so to speak, and saying that it could happen anywhere.
And what is it telling us as a community? Are we ready? Is our chief of police ready? What is our chief of police doing? What is our sheriff doing? What are our constables doing? Instead of freaking being out there putting goddamn political signs for county judges and shit like that, why are we not out there? I happened to speak to a constable yesterday, and you know what he's telling me? He goes, our county judge allocates us right now I only have $250 for the remaining, for gas, for my units, for the remaining of till, if I'm not mistaken, until October.
Yes.
$250 is supposed to protect, that's supposed to be the gas money for one of our constables to patrol one of our precincts. And yet, look at what's happening. But yet, we can be here and point fingers, but that's just one of many examples where the ones that are dropping the ball are politicians.
Yep.
You know, because why? Because they are looking out for themselves. Yeah. And unfortunately, a tragedy like this needs to happen and occur. Are we getting any sound? Can you hear us, guys, by any chance? Or did you know? What?
No. We should be good. I mean, I haven't. You see
Can you hear
anything in
us?
the comments?
Yes. Okay, we're good. So it's very unfortunate, that's one of many examples, and I can talk about. You see, and again, I'm no expert as running a county, or I'm no expert in many things, but I'm an expert of understanding the difference between right and favoritism and stupidity. That I can tell the difference.
Well, I mean, even that, it's common sense. Now, you're saying that one of the constables is being allocated has only $250 of fuel left.
Yes.
Now, what I would want to know is that how many or what is going on with the other constables?
Well, here's the kicker. The other one has, not to mention that the other one gets paid more. Okay? That the other one has allocated more money for gas. So that guy is getting gas money from another department. So that money that he has for that bunch of money for gas, he allocated it to get AR-15s to his constables. So, I mean, it's a shit show, Isaac. It's very hard to explain right now, and I don't want to confuse the community. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is that it's the safety of our community, of our kids, of our families, of our property. There's no time. I can't be having, okay, I'm going to run this county, and you're my camarada, and I'm only going to, a ti sí te voy a dar bastante dinero because you're one of my camaradas. A ti, you're más poquito. Y a ti, pues, a ti no me caes, o a ti no te voy a dar casi, nomás la voy a despistar, and I'm just going to give you whatever.
Well, look.
And who at the end becomes the victim?
Mm-hmm.
Our children, our families, and our property.
And one of the things that's disappointing about what you're saying, especially with all the funding that's out there right now that Maverick County is receiving, especially, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what constable it is you're talking about, and there's no one out there more
active,
and you can see he's out there,
yes,
taking care of business. Now, one of the things I would challenge the Maverick County's Commissioner's Court is to, hey, what about the funding that's coming in to cover this, secure the border and everything? Now, there's gas mileage included in there. I mean, it's common sense. If you're going to be patrolling the border, which is the federal government's asking you, the state government's asking you,
allocating you funds,
they're going to give you fuel to patrol.
Why in the world? And yes, our county judge is probably saying, "Oh, shut up! That guy doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know any better."
I invite the current county judge right now to come by on a podcast if he ever likes.
Yeah, maybe now's the time for you to come out since you're on your way out.
Look, let's be honest. Take ourselves out of the football field, so to see. Put us in the stands. What are you seeing? What are we seeing? What is this community seeing? There's a county judge that his time's up.
Yes.
December 31st, that's his last day that he will be the county judge.
Yes.
Now, we see a lot of things going on, and I know we kind of started a little bit about the shooting, and now we're into local politics, and, we're just taking it as it goes, right? But you have this county judge that in December, that's it. Things are over. Now you're starting to see where the planning is coming for after his exit.
Yes.
I mean, we've shared many things. We've been vocal whenever it comes to, the Maverick County Commissioners meetings. You have, former vice president of a water district board coming in there who is married to the county auditor.
Yes.
Maybe not many people of you guys realize that, but he makes a presentation asking about they're going to donate a land, right? And what's funny about it, there was actually a commissioner who took time to create his own plan. Now, yes, it wasn't a donation in land, and I understand that, but why would you deny one and let the other one go? Now, here's the kicker. Like you like to say, here's the kicker. We brought up and we looked into a little bit of that information, and how is it not a conflict, or how is it not an issue when you have the husband of the county auditor, local doctor here, Sergio Zamora, I can say his name, it's out there, and his wife, all four of them are members of this Dubai Estates LLC that, you know, donating this land here. Now, my thing is that they got rid of one of the commissioner's ideas in providing a secure, you know, way so people can travel out. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea what they're proposing. I'm saying that that's the husband of the county auditor proposing that. And there still has yet to be any disclosure to the public about that. Now, again, who's going to benefit from that, owning that land? Because Dubai Estates LLC, it's in there. The county auditor is a member of that LLC.
Well,
now, how can you not call that, how can that not be a conflict? How is that not, you know, declared or disclosed beforehand? Because there's many people out there that don't know that. And you know, we don't expect people to know everything in all the relations because there's so many people around. But you know, me growing up, they were around my age, so we know this. I mean, there were high school sweethearts and everything. I was going through some old prom pictures. I even came out in a lot of pictures with them, and that's the funny part about it. But guys, maybe I'm going a little bit more on this,
there, but let me tell you one thing also. Crime. You say step outside on the football field and look inside. Well, you know what I see? I see crime rates going up. I mean, it's uncontrollable. I see every day. I hate to hear the news that a baby drowned, that a lady drowned, that an immigrant crossing the river died. It's just tiring. It's like.
Where would you attribute that to, though? Is that something that, if crime is up right now in the city, was crime up maybe 2 years ago when we had, you know...
another president? No.
And I don't even want to tie it into a presidential type of thing, because that's a real quick thing that people that may not agree with you, they're going to call you, what, a Trump lover, you know, all these things. But the fact is... And we have a lot of lives out there. I know you've been out there as well. And you can see our border is no longer the same as it was before. People cannot go down there and fish on our side.
Imagine.
Because it's full of razor wire. And not even that, just the people coming over, you don't know who to expect. If you're there alone and there's a group of 10, how do you expect to protect yourself?
I had inside information from the Merritt County Sheriff's Office that they were calling me that I was a piece of shit for this and this and that, and I know it's one of the brothers of the county judge talking shit to me, and another one lady there that works at the sheriff's office, because here he is, because I know he's the one that posts those comments for the Merritt County Sheriff's website. Oh, we're gonna start doing community policing because the crime rate's going up. And it takes me that they're going to start doing community policing and working with their neighbors and Seco Mines because there's a lot of crime rate going on. The crime rate's going up, blah, 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 blah. Why are we waiting for this? Well, again, this is basic 101. They teach you in the Law Enforcement Academy community policing. Hey, you know what? I go knock on your door. Hey, Isaac, what's going on? My name's Officer Perez. Hey, I'll be patrolling Seco Mines area, Barrera Street. Any questions or concerns? You know, this is me. Here's my police department card. You knock on another door. Salud malandrin. Hey, what up? How you doing? My name's Billy Perez. Officer Perez. Blah, 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 blah. And you know what? Miran, I could smell the pot, everything. Boom. Let me red flag this house. Guachalo. Why is the sheriff department barely doing this? And why only Seco Mines? What about Rosita Valley? What about Loma Bonita? What about the Hopedale area? What about Quemado? Like, I mean, something happens and we have 4 sheriff units responding. 4 sheriff units responding. Code 3 coming straight out of the sheriff department. Why? In a police department, and hope any of my law enforcement are out there watching and can agree with me. You know, if we have several police officers patrolling, Sabes que you go to precinct 1, you go to precinct 2, you go to precinct 3, you go to precinct 4. Because they have to report writing. Okay, there's not enough office. They give me the bullshit excuse that there's not enough officers in the sheriff department. Oh, wait a minute. Well, there's two reasons why they don't have either. Because they don't have the funds, which I highly doubt it they don't have the funds. Because they got a bunch of clowns getting paid a bunch of money there. And that's no fucking secret, right? And two is because maybe nobody wants to work for that department. I got friends leaving that department. Why? Because there's no leadership. When you have a lamb leading a bunch of lambs, then what can you expect? What can you expect?
And
you got leaders to, you know what? Set it the example. You know, as a sheriff department, you know, you're the leader. As a police chief, you're the leader. Hey, you know what, guys? How are they doing tactical? How are they doing on their conditioning? How are they doing, you know, response time? Stuff like that. Why do we have several police officers in one school? We have 3 or 4 or 5. Why can't we have 3 or 4 or 5? One in Liberty Elementary, one in Seco Mines, one in Sisiwin, one in this. On the summer, maybe practice their response time to one school to the other. I mean, again, and I'm not throwing some of my friends under the bus, because at the end of the day, it's not their fault. They follow orders and they have chiefs, right?
Yeah.
But when you have chiefs as lambs, you know.
Well, see, and let's touch down on that little topic you just said, funding. Now, funding, that's a very good point. They may say there's no funding, but the jail generates a good amount of money, a couple of $1 million a year. And that's that they are selling the space to outsiders to house inmates in Maverick County jail facilities. Now, those beds are being taken up. That's fine. You're making money out of there. But where does that money go? Does it go to better the jail situation? No. Does it go to better the sheriff's office? No. I mean, I worked there. I worked alongside 2 other people. There was 3 of us in an office smaller than this one. Smaller than this one. 3 of us. I mean, you have our detectives, our investigators are in some little, rinky-dink little
trailer or something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the damn thing is.
Neither do I. I've seen it.
And, and it's sad. It's sad because it's not the deputies, it's not the investigators' fault. They're employees there. They're employees. It's simple as that.
And then you know what the bullshit excuse? Oh, well, our grant writer got us 3 trucks from Operation Lone Star. No, give me three units. When you work your butt off and you got a grant, entonces sí, te están dando pan calientito y te estás levantando el cuello. Look, that's different, brother. I mean, that to me, that ain't no grant writer.
I will be honest with you, just because I have a little bit of experience as a grant writer, and I was actually in the position of the person that you're speaking about right now. Now, the current grants that were there, and a lot of the grants that the sheriff's department gets, these are fill in the blank.
Yeah, a monkey can do it.
Fill in the blank, with information. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say a monkey can do it, but it's nothing out of this world.
And I'm not a grant writer. I've never done a grant in my life, but I know that he doesn't take a genius too.
No, because I'm telling you, these funds are available.
Yes.
They're available, and then you have these grants that, yes, you apply, you're gonna get the funding. You don't need a grant writer. You just need somebody to fill in those blanks. Now, and then there's other grants that are competitive grants. That's the difference. Now, this Lone Star money, all this funding coming in that we're going to get, I mean, that's money that they're allocating. Now, when they're allocating this money, they're pretty much like, here, you need it.
Just make sure you tell me what it is for.
Exactly. You have to justify
how many new officers, blah, 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 blah. And again, yes, we can point fingers and blah, blah, blah. But the point of the matter is, at the end of the day, Isaac, our citizens are the ones.
Yeah.
Our children, our citizens, our community. I wish, and we don't even have the answers at this point to what can we be done. I even think that we haven't even begun to see what's going to happen. And my My thing here is, are we gonna be ready? Is our Eagle Pass Police Department ready? Is our school district police department ready? Is our sheriff department ready? You know what? Shout out to every law enforcement out there. Shout out to our state troopers, to our border patrol, you know, and our police department. Hey, you know what? I do see them through my house. Thank God, I do see them. You know, whenever I see them, sometimes I offer them water. You know, because it's hot out there. Sometimes they tell me no, I'm okay. That's okay. But at least, but you know, shout out to because we. I had never slept in my apartment with my gun on my table. Never. I hardly do it. You know, I hardly do it, but now I do. I live 35 seconds away from the river. I see everything every time. Border patrols. I see troopers going code 3, hecho vuelo. To me, it's like an everyday thing. I see it every day.
It has
very
become
unfortunate.
that.
And the floodgates have not even opened. So
Well,
are we gonna wait for another tragic to happen? Is my question. Is our chief of police ready? What is he gonna implement? What are our schools gonna do? It's like my cousin that's a teacher told me today, well, you know, the school district, yes, they have a police officer today in school and everything. Are they gonna have it come September 1st when school starts again? Come November, come the last vacation.
Yeah,
They're ahorita nomás
it's
están tapando
reactionary.
el ojo
Yeah,
con el dedo.
it's reactionary, and it's unfortunate. I know you mentioned how some of the schools aren't unprepared. With my experience, you know, my kids go to the schools they go to, 2 different schools, right? You know, both those schools, you cannot even go in. They'll either you have to buzz, you have to say something, and you know what? That should be at least a preliminary thing. Now, like today, I had to go to my son's
Graduation.
award,
Award
his
night.
award ceremony, right? And there I did see a border patrol. There was also a constable's truck out there. I believe also somebody had commented on my post saying that there was a trooper there, and you know. And yes, that makes us feel safe at the moment. At the moment, yes. And you know, it's not a knock to these law enforcement agencies, but now, considering what happened in Uvalde, it's maybe about time to start planning or thinking or something about what we're going to do in the future. Because it seems to me that these things often get misinterpreted through children. Again, we get back to mental health that should be the number one priority here. And these people that commit these types of crimes, you know, it's not people are like that are not sane. People that are okay in their mind, in their peace, and they're okay with everything. They do not think of going into a school and shooting 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. That is not a sane person. I go back again and we talk about the shooting in Buffalo. There was the supermarket, again, another 18-year-old, young guy. He left what is called the words just slipped, a manifesto.
Yes.
So in the manifesto, you kind of see, you know, he talks about in a portion saying that his parents weren't there. His parents never realized that there was, you know, weapons under his bed. And this guy, he mentions that, I guess he tried to blame COVID a little bit in saying that that's when he got into reading certain rhetoric to where that flipped him. So a lot of people real quick try to denounce this thing as a racial thing, the shooting in Buffalo.
Yes.
But and this is my opinion, I think he was radicalized through mental health. Now, through the mental health issue that he was going through. Now, a lot of us have been through situations because of COVID, and now we're recovering, and now this, people are going through stuff. I saw some comments on Facebook where, people are saying there's nothing wrong with mental illness. You need to go and, you feel some type of way, get that checked out. Like, if you twist your ankle, you go to the doctor and make sure it's not broken or what it is you need.
You know what? I think sometimes I have mental issues, and you know what I do? I get, todos me dicen, ay, estás gordito and you exercise a lot and more. You know what? People think, what a wonderful world. No, I get up and I go and work out because, ya luego, just to relieve my endorphins.
Yeah.
Because, obviously, again, we go back to what if you want to blame somebody, blame the cell phone, blame all that. You know who the real evil is? People that are letting their kids with a cell phone, 2, 3, 4-year-olds. They don't go out and play. They don't go out and play marbles. They don't get a game of Monopoly and play. They don't out there playing what is it called, hopscotch, or I don't know what it was, yeah. Or las escondidas or anything like that. Ya no hacen eso, Isaac. No, because porque la mamá y el papá queremos, and I'll be the first one to say, queremos estar en Facebook glitchando and look and we're not aware of what our children are doing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think all of us
they want to you be using their goddamn filters. Queremos vernos todos cool, and I'll blame it. I'll be the first one to say.
It's a tendency. It's a human tendency.
But what I'm saying is, la mamá, el papá, todos en Facebook o carneando, pisteando, y el niño irá bien engasado con el teléfono. On the telephone, God knows what they're doing. It's like, if anything, society blames everybody, the governor, the law enforcement, they blame everybody. What about yourself as a parent? Mm-hmm. You want to talk about personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Because at the end, todo comienza en la casa. Todo comienza en la casa. If you teach your kids right, values, ¿sabes qué? Vas a usar el teléfono un ratito y si te gusta. Y si no, too bad. Go out there and play with your little brother outside or something, with a dog or something. Pero no, todos quieren estar con su... Apenas están haciendo el baby, ya les están comprando un iPhone 24. Like, really, Isaac?
Yeah.
What about parental accountability? Mm-hmm. Where's that? Todos echándole la culpa. No saben qué es lo que están haciendo. O que está la lineota en Walmart para comprarle un PS7 or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Para comprarle al niño Modern Warfare, para que esté shooting. And then what do they call it? They call it mental issue. The mental issue is with the parent. That's where the real mental issue is.
And that can go back to a lot of things. Like what I would say is that, yes, a lot of us, not a lot of us, every one of us has or inherits traits from our parents. So that's a difficulty thing whenever we're growing up, is that, we're molded, we're modeled, and you're right in saying that, the saying, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And it's true, because how many times do you see a dad or a mom that's just troubled and the kid follows the same way, or
it's a pattern.
Exactly. And a lot of people, what they don't get is that the whole concept of life, or the purpose of life, is to escape your own patterns. Those are the things that keep us locked down and focused into a certain, tunnel vision, and you forget about, what's out here and what other possibilities or what is another way. Why? Because many of us are so set on the ways that we were taught growing up, mm-hmm. whether they're good or bad, not judging that, yeah. But you need to be able to explore one's individuality, because a lot of the stuff, you see parents out there, and I'm not, talking about anybody in particular, but in general, they'll, could be even the bad influences, you're saying, towards their children.
Y es porque most of the time no les ha faltado nada. Oh, yo le quiero dar todo a mi hijo que lo que yo no tuve. That's always the first bullshit I hear. Mm-hmm. yo le quiero dar todo a mi hijo lo que yo no tuve. Wait a minute, time out. What good is buying a Camaro to your 15, 16-year-old son, 17-year-old son? What's happening right now? People graduate, les compran un carrazo, una lifted truck, y luego que andan al año andan llorando porque se volteó mi hijo y se mató. So, whose fault is it, Isaac? ¿Me entiendes? You know, whose fault is it? And then on the flip side, you got the parent that says, ¿sabes qué? Yo le voy a comprar un cucarachito a mi hijo. And I applaud them because those people that buy sometimes a little car, they have the money to buy their son a good car. But you know what? They give me the right answer. Dicen, ¿sabes por qué? Porque si le compro un Camaro o si le compro una lifted truck, then what hungerness are they going to have when they go to college? You know, I'm taking them straight to the top of driving a lifted truck. Then what hungerness are they going to have to strive and come out better in life? You know, in life, you earn things. You don't get them. Make your children earn it. Make them work. I applaud a lady that I know que trae a veces la miro y trae con su niño para todas partes y el niño anda trabajando. And he's like a second grader. Gets on a roll, gets good grades. Y el niño siempre le anda ayudando a su mamá. And I'm not going to name names because I don't want to and it's not fair. Pero it's unbelievable. And when I see that, me quedo así viendo y like, because it's very odd. I'm used to seeing the mamá y que siente el niño allá y el niño allá está with the cell phone and playing and God knows doing what. You know, you see, unfortunately, young gentlemen, young ladies taking their pictures, not caring about society whatsoever, not caring whatsoever. A veces, hey, socialize. How many times do you sit in dinner and pray? When was the last time you saw a family grab hands and pray? When was the last time you saw a kid trying to build a doghouse with a parrot? That or something of that sort. When was the last time que dijiste tú, hey, ¿sabes qué? Mira, mi niño le anda sacando con a weed eater. How many kids can we grab in this community and say que puede aprender una weed eater y hacer trim, toda la little yard, bien padre, que la corte la yard, que le saque toda la tierrita a los rosales, trim the tree a little bit, water it down. How many kids can honestly say that, oh, my son can do that? How many kids in this community or anywhere?
Yeah, I mean,
pero diles de, hey, ¿sabes qué? De un Snapchat filter, este y lo otro, la mamá comadrándose con la otra amiga, tomándose sus filters, el papá, God knows what the heck he's doing, you know.
I feel, I mean, on the topic, I don't judge a parent or anything like that, but I think everything needs to be taken in moderation, and I think that many things can fit that moderation type of concept, because why? You have, you know, let's bring it up, alcohol, you know, it can be used to have a good time in moderation. It can help you to relax in moderation. Other things that, you know, aspirin, just, you know, Tylenol, in moderation, it'll help you with a
here's
headache.
A good example. My brother Martin Perez, he's live on, he's watching us from San Marcos. Y él tiene un hijo. Man, that kid, he just put me. And you know why he put me? Because he knows that John Jay, which is his son, John Jay that will detail you a boat, will change a tire, will cut the grass, knows about sprinkler systems. Is that
you
kid?
You don't see that kind of stuff.
Exactly,
nowadays.
that's what I'm saying. That's why my brother puts me, because he knows what I'm talking about. You know, and it's at a point where, you know what, it's getting out of hand, and hopefully, again, we stop pointing fingers, and I honestly think that we should start in our homes, Isaac. Yeah, we want to blame anybody with this tragedy. I mean, not tragedy. If we want to let's blame ourselves, because it starts with the parent. You know, this summer, what are you going to do with your kids? Are you just going to hand them a phone and let them be there for 70 days doing nothing? Just give them a PlayStation 5 playing Modern Warfare? Are you going to, ¿sabes qué? We're going to go to vacations y luego días para vacations, and they're on the freaking phone.
Now, you bring up a good point, and one of the things that came to my mind right now was that, and this is using my example growing up myself, because I liked video games. I mean, I think I got that from my brother when I was little, playing the Nintendo. I love that damn Nintendo, right? But I was into sports, and maybe a lot of that had to do with a good influence that I had from my older brother that played sports. So I got into sports. And what does sports do? Now, I wasn't the best athlete, we know that, right? But it teaches you. Sports teaches you discipline, teaches you how to be social,
UIL rules. You have to pass.
how to be a team, academics. Now, I'm not saying that sports is for everybody, because it's not, of course, but sports and other extracurricular activities exist to teach students, kids, our children, different attributes. Again, leadership. We got discipline, because discipline's important. Without any discipline, you'll never accomplish anything in life. I mean, a lot of us can be disciplined, and then you can lose your discipline, and it's hard to get back on that horse to where you're in the gym every day. Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, my ass would get up in the morning, go work out, and in the evening go work out. Now I can't even get up to do some damn push-ups, and that's a discipline. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's very easy to start. It's when you stop. ¿Por qué crees que yo no paro? Because it keeps me grounded, brother.
Well, once you stop it, it's hard to get it on again. And then I keep on telling myself, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, but it goes back to the discipline of things. Now, I'm an adult. Children are the ones who need and crave structuring. That is why school is structured. That's why we have these mechanisms in place that as society implemented for structure for growing children. Now, there's some kids that take to that structure like no problem. Now, there's some other kids that are a little bit more difficult or a little bit less mature and need a little bit more attention to get into a good structure. And that is where I think you kind of brought up the parents. That is where the parents either can fail or pass and give the opportunity for their children to succeed. Give them a heads up, because discipline, there's nothing better in this world than having a disciplined drive. You will accomplish whatever you set your mind to, whatever goal you put in front of you. Discipline will get you there. Now, if you're not an athlete, you don't like sports, again, there's other extracurricular activities that teach you discipline,
art, music,
martial arts,
karate,
boxing,
jiu-jitsu,
a band, even social clubs, baseball. Absolutely. I mean,
and shout out. Let me tell you one thing about baseball, and I love baseball. I actually never played baseball, but when our Eagles go to the playoffs, because that's almost every year now, shout out to all those. You see, there's a great example. Mm-hmm. Eagle Pass is known for baseball, man. And why? Because de chiquitos, lo traen en a little
the structure.
Structure that Eagle Pass, and shout out to all those families that have their kids in baseball, the discipline.
The coaching, the league managers,
the leagues,
yes.
From Pee Wee League to elementary to Little League. And then there's divisions 9 to 11 and the 13, 14-year-olds. And know what? By the time
2 or 3 years old, right?
By the time Reynolds, shout out to all the Eagles, which they'll be playing tomorrow. God bless. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck to the Eagles. We wish y'all a 1-game playoff against Reagan Rattlers.
Tomorrow
1 game is all we need, Eagles. Let's get it done.
Tomorrow Laredo, so let's get it done. Reynolds, shout out. The structure, look at that. There's a great example. Mm-hmm. Why can that be implemented as a father and a mother be implemented with their kids? Hey, what is it? What's your talent? What are you good at? Then but don't tell me that your talent is I'm gonna be playing PlayStation for 13 hours the whole summer. Oh, y lo todo así, they have the tenacity de traerle Cheetos con quesito y un pico y el niño juega y juega and then they call it mental issue.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I would say is that today's society is no longer, the times that you grew up and the times that I grew up.
But why can't they be? That's my question. Why? ¿Sabes qué? We had Nintendo, we had Atari, we had all that. Pero ¿sabes qué decía mi mamá? Caranchito, ¿quieres jugar Atari 1 hora? Sí, mamá, yo quiero jugar 3 horas. Pues te voy a dejar jugar 1 hora. Pero hablamos que vayas y sacas todo el zacate de los rosales. You better cut all the damn grass and wash your dad's 1981 Impala. You better wash it inside and out. And then I'll let you play Asteroid for 1 hour. Eso es lo que mi mamá nos ponía a hacer.
Yeah, no? I mean, of course, it's a by case individual, by individual case thing. Now, I mean, to I guess act as a devil's advocate here. I mean, I know friends of mine, their parents, they have their son that has turned gaming into a big thing that he does. Now, this kid, I mean, you have to play these games to get good at them at the level where he's competing right now. But has there ever been any issues with that kid? No. Has that kid ever been, and I used to regularly go to their house and have fun, play cards. That's what we used to do. He's a good friend of mine. And their kid is, at a level in college and he's playing, these type of games. But again, how you're saying, it goes back to the parents because I strongly believe that those, my friends, them too, they're very good parents. And I think that's what makes the difference. And I understand.
Well,
I understand what you're saying that the games
let me give you the flip side. Mm-hmm. There's a movie called The Sum of All Fears.
I have not seen it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, and that movie says it's not about the 99 nukes that are out there that I know that they are out there. It's about that one that I know that it's not out there.
Yeah.
So that one just hit our backyard yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
With that being said, I mean, Isaac, I don't know. I don't have the words. I just pray for those families out there. Let's not blame anybody at the end of the day. It's something that evil out there, Isaac, and I will continue to say it. God didn't blame the jaw that hit that Cain in the Bible grabbed. God didn't blame the jaw of the rock or whatever it was. He blamed Cain. So we're gonna point fingers at the guns and all this, but.
And that's what I'm kind of getting back to. What we were talking about in the first place was that these things are being politicized. These Democrats are being Democrats. Republicans are going to be Republicans. Of course, the Democrats are going to be saying we need gun law control. We need take away those assault rifles and this and that. And what are the Republicans saying? No, you don't. It's the duality. There's division.
And evil's not gonna say, "Oh, Governor Abbott, let me look at your laws." And
no,
they're evil, bad people. Evil. Democrats or Republicans can cry wolf or whatever they want, however you say it. But the bottom line is that evil is not gonna ask for permission for nothing.
Yeah.
It's gonna attack. It's gonna come after you. And the reality is that we can't stop it. We can only contain it. Can we be ready? We can. Can we? But the question is how. How can we do it? Todos van a tener sus opiniones. Everybody's gonna say and point fingers, but the bottom line is that evil is out there, and all we can do is pray. Like my kids, yo le digo a Dios, cuídamelos. You have beautiful children, Isaac, and I'm sure that you also ask for them, for God to protect them.
Of course.
We've shied away, as a society, we shy away from God. At the end of the day, a nation that was, our fundamentals was God, and now, we got all these wackos going left and right, but that's a different story, Isaac.
No, and I mean, You make a lot of sense. Now, what I want to kind of kick it back to is the mental health type of thing. Now, they're looking through this shooter's alleged shooters, all his background, everything. There's been pictures where he's dressing in women clothing.
Yes.
There's the concern that he was, tagging other Instagram users on his Instagram with a picture of his guns, and that confused even the lady, according to the Instagram reports or what the lady put out, the girl. And the thing is that those little things are something to get a parent or somebody in the around to kind of like, hey, well, what's going on? Are you all right, or what?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a problem? Do we need to know? I go back with the shooting in Buffalo, where this guy in his own manifesto says, my parents didn't even know. He bought himself assault rifles, guns. This other gentleman in the news, Salvador Ramos, had right after his 18th birthday gone out and purchased weapons. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Again, how you're saying, I think you're right about the situation where I don't think it's necessarily the guns that are the problem, because guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yep.
And that's just, a fact. But whenever you're looking at, looking back at this person's life, this shooter's life, what has he done? What is he doing? Why? How did he do this? How did he do that? I mean, the big flag there is mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Where the parents, where are you, asking your kid, is everything okay?
Covering angles.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be talking with your kids. You have to tell them what's going on.
But they're not talking to their kids, Isaac. La mamá y el papá todos están en social media, on their damn Facebook, taking their best shots. God knows what they're doing. Esto, oh, y luego pasa una tragedia. Oh, hug your kids tonight. Today feels a little bit different. See, ahora sí, now today feels a little bit different. Well, what about the other days? What about other days? You don't want you want that today feels a little bit different and hug your child? Well, start with yourself. Again, if somebody is gonna be accountable, it's society, Isaac. It's not the law enforcement. It's not the governor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Republicans or the Democrats or the guns or no guns. It's the parents. If anybody you want to start blaming right now, it's the parents. They're the ones that are accountable, because that's the first line of defense. There's the first time cuando un niño nace, ya le compraron un pinche teléfono de volada. They're ready to órale, y se olvidan.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? And then tragedies happen. It's done. And again, I'll keep saying it. It's mental issue. It's not mental issue. The mental issue was the parent, that they, what discipline, what values are you teaching them? Are you teaching them about God? Are you teaching them about how to work? Are they telling your kids, are you going to earn your stuff? Or am I going to give you the 2022 Camaro Super Sport at age 17 or 16? Because that's,
No, yeah.
but, and I can go on and on and on and on.
And the thing that came to my mind right now is what you're saying. Yeah, it's true. And
If anybody wants to be accountable for these tragedies like this, it's the parents. It's society.
You need to have a certain, I guess, mechanisms in place to recognize these types of things, because apparently the parents, it seems that they didn't know their own child. And again, referring back to the Buffalo situation, where this guy in his manifesto literally prints that out and says, my parents didn't know this, my parents didn't know that. He even mentions he had the silver coin collection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he was able to he collected all these silver coins, and that's how he was able to get money to buy the guns. But his parents didn't even know that was his hobby, collecting these silver coins.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, I think that's something that any parent would kind of pick up on. Your kid has a hobby. My son, for instance, he's always telling me how much he likes baseball. Okay, now don't you think that would be a cue for me to get him, a damn glove, a baseball bat, you know what
Yes.
I mean? And put him out there to go play.
Yeah.
and I think that that's where you may be saying that we're failing, in general, as parents because we're not providing the necessary structure, or not all of us, of
The
course,
discipline,
but yeah,
the leadership, the counseling. They need to see a psychiatrist. Okay. You're the psychiatrist. Es tu hijo, es tu niña, it's your daughter, it's your son. You talk to them. You figure it out. And then that feedback that your child gives you, then maybe, you know what, this is what I've seen. And these are the little red flags. Sometimes I see my son alone for 3 hours in the room. Something's going on.
Now, for those of y'all watching, we don't want to, or at least it's not the intention to stigmatize mental health.
By all means, not.
It is an issue for some, and
because it is out there.
yes, and also it does become an issue when that you create on your own. Some of the times,
and that's what we're talking about.
And there is nothing wrong with reaching out to your local health, providers. We do have some. We tried to get a guest, a mental health provider, to speak about the subject here today, but we were not successful, which is unfortunate. But mental health is a lot of things. Don't be afraid to approach or ask or reach out for help. Yes, anybody that's watching that's younger, you want to go to your parents first of all, because those should be the people that are the ones that know you, and they could help you in the immediate. Now, a lot of parents deal with issues on their own, like you say. So whenever that comes into play, again, there is nothing wrong with going out to get a consultation, visit some of these clinics that we have out here. I will say, I know United Medical Centers, UMC, is doing a great job in providing, whatever necessary health coverage, or having something where people can come into, and not feel bad about it. And I like the efforts. Now, I don't like pushing too much of this is wrong, that's wrong, you need to be this, you need to be that,
yes.
Which sometimes that does get carried over into
yes.
the mental health thing. And it's difficult to sort that out. But yes.
And then they want to medication, the volada meds.
And that should be your final,
you want to know what the best medicine for mental? Put your kid to work out. Put him in a program on something. We just talked about it right now.
That does help, yeah.
What does that do? That activates your endorphins, which is like, it helps the stress. It helps them open themselves up, mature, become leaders. They're learning, senses become better. And again, I'm no expert in all that, but I do know one thing, that exercising and getting out there, being involved with your kids, you play with them, you go do this, do that. It's gonna help him without having to do with medication. But
and a lot of I remember being told that and my kids, because my kids, they're an energetic bunch, as many of our kids that are growing up now. So in them having so much energy and this and that, how you say, that's how you compensate, by putting them in a sport, a band, extracurricular activity. Even if it's going to the library with the book clubs that the city's coming up with, different things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports, but that is how they are able to cope with some of the things, by surrounding them in different areas, giving them, like you said, to combat stress.
Does the city still have that summer program for the kids?
I am not aware. I want to say yes, but
Like,
I know COVID
that
was just recent, so
yes. But before that, a couple of years back, did the city have program for
like the summer program that they had
for every kid in the community?
I believe so.
Where were they being held?
At the multipurpose, if I'm not
At the
mistaken.
multipurpose, yeah. Because when I was as a teenager and younger, I remember that mamá said, "Okay, ya se acabó la escuela, órale, te vas a meter al San Luis program summer thingy." Y luego we would show up at the San Luis Center. I don't know what it was called. on William Street. But there was a little,
Something like that,
those
yeah.
little centers, y órale, nos poníamos a jugar de las 9 de la morning, jugábamos así, y otro team estaba jugando checkers, y otro afuera estaba corriendo sprints y todo. Órale, ya sonaba el little ring, se hacían switch, órale, tú vas a jugar checkers, los otros se van a ir para afuera, and then, ok, ya eran las 2, sonaba, órale, todos súbanse a un bus, nos llevaban swimming. And then swimming was awesome, toda, y luego ya se acababa swimming, traían los choros de hambre, y nos llevaban a la San Luis Elementary a comer. So, you know, ¿tú crees que llegaba a la casa bien cansado, todo soleado, because I was swimming and everything? You think I had time to hacer maldad?
Idle hands are the devil's hands.
Yes,
right?
idle hands are the devil's hands. There you go, Isaac.
No, yeah, and you know, I can that resonates with me because same thing. I participated in those programs. When I was 18, I worked with the city as a recreational specialist, taking care of those programs as well, or not taking care of them, but working in those programs.
And then also as you get, and then there was the JTPA programs, and again, and these are all things that are, and I don't know if the city or the county is doing them anymore. Are they or what?
Well, I mean, I would say a good start to being proactive on, you know, mental health in general is expand on some of these programs that we already have.
Yes, expand them. That's the word. Whatever we're doing, let's try to do it better, bigger and better, and get our kids involved. Get the kids involved, you know. Volunteers. Hey, we're having a summer program. There's people that are out there that can volunteer, you know, and help out there getting the kids. Again, I know COVID just happened and it'll open up. It's already opened up many things and stuff like that. But again, can it be prevented? We don't know. But what we do know is we gotta keep trying. We gotta keep striving, because we're never gonna be ready for these tragedies that happen, like the one that just happened here in our backyard. But we can at least give the community a chance. Give the kids a chance. And it all starts with me as a parent, with you as a parent. Whether you're a local politician, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it starts with being a parent with your kids. And that's where it starts. Teaching them values, teaching them how to be a leader, teaching them how to overcome, teaching them to, you know what, take it to the next level. Okay, ahorita you're 5 years, mijo. Now you're 7 years. Now you're 9 years. Now you're a teenager. We gotta talk about the birds and the butterflies, you know, and all this stuff, and you know, take it from there. But again, and I will say it 100 million times. It all starts with us as parents, Isaac.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I'll say that you're not wrong.
And I'm not a professional, but geez.
All right, let's see if we can hit up some of these comments here. We haven't been. You're not wrong. I'll say that you're not wrong. Guys, we want to thank you for joining in. We're just catching up on some of these comments that you guys are have sent us, and we appreciate. Tell a story, Billy. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Okay.
Yes.
So, guys, yeah, I mean, we're just checking back the comments. I don't know if you guys have any questions, any thing you want to bring up, but that's a situation that we're dealing with right now. Now, it's not anything that we want to, you know, we're not anybody to tell you how to raise your kids or anything like that, but we do say, especially after, you know, the tragedy that happened, is watch over your kids a little bit more. Take time to get to know what is going on, and that, you know, I try to do that myself with my kids. Talk to them, see how their day at school went, see who their friends are, what are they doing, what kind of who they're hanging out with, and everything. Because the parents.
That's another thing we didn't even touch. Who are your kids hanging out with? What are they doing? Who are their friends, Isaac? Who are they? You are who you hang around with, Isaac.
Yeah, that's true.
¿Eh? Por eso ya no me quiero juntar contigo, Isaac.
That's why they told me to stay away from this
I'm
guy
staying
right
away
here.
from this guy.
All right, guys. Well, a quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Viva K9 Training, Grooming, and Boarding Services, guys. If you guys have a four-legged friend that needs to get taken care of, a little bath, a little shower, walking around, treat them good, hit up Viva K9, guys. They're great people out there taking care of your pets and ready to service our community. So I invite you guys to look for their page and follow them. Awesome job that they're doing out there. I want y'all to remember as well, we got a Eat Fit Eagle Pass that is preparing. Part of this thing about mental health has a lot to do with your food that you take in, guys. It's very important about your health. So go ahead and big shout out to Billy right here. Hit him up and say, and ask about what kind of meal preps he deals with, what he has.
Just send me an inbox.
Send him an inbox. That's Eat Fit Eagle Pass, guys. And that's pretty much all that we have for today. We appreciate you guys stopping by. We had people coming in and out. Thank you for your comments. We didn't get a chance to address them. We will as soon as we finish the live.
Guys, and make no mistakes, shout out to our police department that in conjunction with the Border Patrol and I believe our sheriff departments, we're taking care of our schools. And again, by all means, not to throw low blows or anything like that. We want to concentrate on what the solution is, not the problem. But shout out to our state troopers here in Eagle Pass,
Troopers,
our National Guard, our military that are working hard.
Military, yep.
And whenever you see out there, guys, buy them a meal, pay for their food or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I think it could have been worse.
I mean, at very least, extend a thank you to these guys.
Thank them.
Say
Make them feel welcome.
I try to take the time when I remember, I see somebody, a border patrol, a policeman, hey, thank you for what you do and be safe out there. Right now we're dealing with times that we've never dealt with here in Eagle Pass, the way things are at the border. And the people that are here are not necessarily here because that's what they're supposed to. Like, Border Patrol is having to switch and change their job descriptions. The military is having to change their job description. Our state troopers are big show of force the other day.
They're leaving their families from where they are to be protecting us.
To come here at the border that isn't a problem that they created, but they're having to deal with it. And so we are pro law enforcement.
If you see them in a traffic stop, make sure they're okay. Hey, slow down, look at them, make sure they're good, carry on. But if you see that they need help, stop by and help them out and assist. And again, safely.
It goes a long way, guys. Thanking these guys for serving our community. Like I said, it's not any of their doing, but they're here to serve our community. Guys, let us know in the comments how we did, what you want to hear about next podcast. We're gonna try to rev our things up and I don't know, maybe Joe Rogan this thing and go 365. What do you think?
We're gonna work on it, brother. And,
well, guys, we'll go
from the new location.
Yeah, new location, guys. We appreciate y'all that have sponsored, have donated. We're nowhere near where we want to be, but we are here because of you guys and your support. So we appreciate that.